Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to you all. I hope you guys are doing very well today and you're ready to start your day with me, Muhammad Maktoum. And unfortunately, we have no Shazad, but he will be with us tomorrow. I hope you guys had a good evening yesterday. These days it is getting really hot and today is pretty humid as well. So look after yourselves and do dress appropriately and do make sure you stay hydrated. And you know, the banter that we have normally, I'm not really going to have that by myself. So I think we're going to start the show because we have some really interesting guests and some really interesting subjects to discuss today. So let's start with the headlines because there's quite a few. So let's work through those first. Okay, Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif will participate in the quadrilateral meeting of CASA 1000 in Tajikistan today. Okay, moving on. Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and Tajik President Emomali Rahmon are holding talks in Dushanbe. Prime Minister has said two sides have expressed satisfaction over pace of cooperation in economy, investment, trade, energy, defense production, and industry. Moving on, Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif also met with Tajik Prime Minister Kohar Rasul Zoda. Both the leaders discussed the matters of bilateral significance with particular focus on the enhancement in existing trade and economic cooperation. Moving on, Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's daughter Maryam Nawaz has recorded her statement before the joint investigation team formed to probe the Panama Papers case. And moving on to sports, Pakistan badminton duo have beat the Indian team to win the men's double title in the Nepal Annapurna International Badminton Championship. So congratulations to the Pakistan team, to duo. Fantastic. And that is it for our headlines. And now let's move on to our public service message. Okay, our public service message, and it's an interesting one because I think you have to be pretty careful with this one, but it's about when you're going about your day-to-day life, have a smile on your face. If you see a stranger who's struggling, maybe help them out, but it's just about acts of kindness in the simplest ways. But one thing is that when my producer told me that this is going to be the public service message, if you are female, do be careful. You know, some people do misinterpret a smile, and unfortunately that does happen, very rarely, but let's start making a culture of smiling and making it the norm. So that is our public service message for today. Now moving on to the show, it's about communities, it's about bridging gaps between cultures and civilizations and trying to find out, you know, where we are lacking, where other countries have excelled, and how can we, you know, portray the actual image of Pakistan. Now, you know, the actual image of Pakistan changes day to day. It depends on who you meet, who you interact with, who you talk to. You know, sometimes there's a lot of people that you meet and you feel a lot of hope. Then there's a lot of people that you meet and you're like, this is not the positive path to be walking down. But we are trying to incorporate all of it. We're trying to be inclusive of everything because we have to move forward together. But there are people who are already trying to show the world what Pakistan is all about and highlighting the positive aspects. And they're doing that through journalism, they're doing that through media channels, and you know, the pen is mightier than the sword. So people have tried to start doing all of these different activities, especially with other media houses in other countries. We've been joined by one specific person who's actually been working in Japan for the last 35 years. He's been working on the interfaith harmony and building a more accurate picture of what is happening within our country, because the counter narrative of the image that's been perpetuated in the media is not very strong still to this day, despite all the efforts that PTV are also trying to do. So it's really interesting to find out how people are actually doing on the other side of the pond. So we've been joined by Humayun Mughal, who is a journalist, and he's been working with the Japanese media channels for the last 35 years. He's also the chief executive of the Japan Interfaith for Peace and Harmony as well. Assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much for joining us.
No, thank you very much. It's a nice smile, and I'm going to give a nice smile to everyone too.
Thank you so much. You're a very cheerful chap as well. Yeah. So now let's get started because we're talking about the image of Pakistan.
Yes.
You lived in Japan for 35 years.
Yes.
why did you choose Japan to go to? Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah, actually, I study Japanese here in the Nimel University.
Oh,
So I
okay.
got the scholarship and I study in the Kyushu University. And then I fall in love with the Japanese lady, and that's
Okay,
happened. Now I
amazing.
have with the 5 children, and
Amazing.
now I have the grandchildren too.
Okay.
I'm the grandpa, so this is happening.
Okay, so basically, so those scholarship programs that people talk, exchange programs.
Yes.
So Humayun, you decided not to come back, or you came
No,
back?
I come often
Okay.
because I'm
So
journalist making documentaries and reporting for my channels.
Okay, wonderful.
come
So,
often, yeah.
okay, once you studied there and you decide, okay, you fell in love, which is wonderful. I hope we do have a photo of your wife and
Oh,
children.
yes, of course I have.
Okay, great. We
Yeah,
will be
definitely
sharing that
share
with
that
all our
here, right?
viewers as
Yes,
well.
sir.
But now, tell us, you went there to study, you ended up falling in love. Now, that's multiple things in itself. You went there to promote Pakistan as well. So, what was
Yes.
the image the Japanese people had?
Because in the 35 years ago, when I was in Japan, the Pakistan image was not so good, and especially the Islam. They say you're from Muslim Pakistan, and step by step, and now it's getting more worse and worse,
Okay.
So I think I took initiative to how to promote the soft image of Pakistan. I said, no, what you are watching on the media is not true.
Yes.
The real story, look at me. I'm Pakistani. I am Pakistan.
Yeah.
Look at my character. So I try to produce, like I involve in my media personality. I'm going to speak different channels. So if any issues come about, like terrorism or Islam or culture about Pakistan, they invite me. I am the one Pakistani who is representing the Pakistan, the soft image of Pakistan.
Okay, wonderful. So here we have some photos. So these are all the different activities that you've been
Yes.
holding there. So tell us
Yes.
a little bit about these.
Actually, I started this especially that I think the religious has a big conflict. So I thought better to bring the religious harmony first. So I invited at my talk show, I invited Shinto priest, Buddhist priest, Christian priest. I'm making the talk shows. I'm getting their spirituality. I say religion is your private thing. Don't touch it. It's your dogma. But spirituality, we are the spiritual people. Let's talk about spiritual talk. So in Sufism, you can say, I'm trying to promote the Sufism culture, musics,
Okay.
and the real thoughts, how to bring the humanity
Okay.
together.
So now, that's an interesting aspect that you've taken there. But now, going there, working with the journalists there, you said they had negative ideas. Now, obviously, even with this show, it's been 4 years, not that long. I mean, 35 years is much longer, and that's great. But what have you seen are the changes? So, I mean, your wife already
Japanese.
didn't have those prejudices. How did you educate the community around you?
Around me, especially, I try to say that I think the culture is, is come from your country, from your religion, because I
Okay.
born from my mother, she was Muslim, so it's made in Pakistan, made in Muslim. You
Okay.
can't change it. But you have to accept other also. My
Okay.
wife is a Buddhist,
Okay.
and I have to accept her culture. My mother-in-law, they have the Japanese Shintoism culture. So I try to understand, I studied that. So I
Okay.
think it's a multi-understanding. You should respect other religion and other culture. Where they can accept you.
Okay.
And when they accept you, definitely you can accept them. So that's why I make it this, intercultural harmony with Japanese culture, Shintoism, Islam. I make a lot of programs, and I invited, you can see these photos that Prime Minister's wife, Mrs. Abe come, Interfaith Harmony. I invited the Antonio Inoki wrestlers last time in 2012 in Pakistan. So I
Okay.
make it 2 big shows. There was 30,000 people were in Lahore, and I think PTV Sports made it live
Yeah.
from Peshawar and Lahore, and then people are watching me and they can understand me. Oh, that Mughal was with Antonio Inoki.
Okay,
so I'm trying
wonderful.
to make this, culture cooperation like sports, culture, music, Sufism. So when you bring it, then two countries get more friendly and
Okay.
more friendship.
Okay, so now, most people, well, no, actually, no, that's not true. So a lot of people already have an idea of Pakistan. Obviously, the Pakistani viewers that are watching, we know our culture within here. But tell us, what are the differences? What is the Japanese culture like?
Actually, no, what I learned from the Japanese culture, actually, they have the Shintoism culture. Because
Okay,
it's come
so
from-
tell us about this.
In Shintoism, they believe the nature. We believe God, we believe Allah. This is okay, there is something we don't know, but nature is come from God.
Okay.
So they not worship, but they respect their ancestors.
Okay.
This is the blood come from an ancestor, so ancestor spirit can help us.
Okay.
So even they are not here. So same, we are feeling that our ancestor also goes to the spiritual world. So this is very common thing, and especially their royal family. Their religion is the royal religion.
Okay.
Their king is a Shintoism. So he is the highest priest of the Shintoism. So he is, just making peace and harmony in that country. Not a religion, is a culture.
It's a culture that he
so they
represents.
make it, separate. Because you can say that religion and politics are different. They don't mix it.
Okay, that's interesting. Now, tell us, I mean, I'm not going, I mean, you live there, so you will know this more. So that's wonderful to find out these things. But okay, so you said that they have an affiliation with nature. I mean, they respect it a lot. How do they, how are the children taught? How is this inculcated into the way of life there?
Especially, their moral and ethics education is very high level. I tell you because I give my education to my children to the Japanese school.
Yes.
So their teaching is, to just, respect the nature.
Okay. So tell us how did your children go to school? Like, what did they do? What were they learning? Tell us.
They go and especially they teach them how to make ikebana. Ikebana is a flower. Love the flowers.
Okay.
Flowers, the beautiful things that can give you near to the nature.
Yes.
So they make the flower arrangement. That's why ikebana is very famous. You can see.
Yeah,
That's
we've even had
culture.
shows with the ambassador of
out
Japan. Yeah.
So culture, and then food. You go, you can see the food. Food is so much beautiful. This is decorated.
Okay.
Even you don't want to touch that. It's so beautiful food.
Okay, so what kind of foods do you have there? Because I mean, coming from Pakistan, we eat like our beef, we like our barbecues, nahari, biryani.
Yes.
Japan is not
Japan
like that.
they have some lot of Indian, Pakistani restaurants there, but the Japanese food is basically have a natural taste. They don't cook. It's the raw fish, sashimi, sushi. I love it to eat it.
Okay.
There are not only one fish, they have more than 30 kinds of fish.
Right.
So they just put like the soya sauce and little bit taste. So food is very healthy. That's why their ages are, you can say they live long life.
Okay.
More than 100 years old Japanese you can find out. Still they are working.
Wow.
And just alive.
Amazing. Yeah. So that's the food and a little bit of the cultural aspect of it too. So tell us another thing. What is the working environment like in Japan?
Working is, everybody's working. Even the 65 years old guy is working.
Is that a good thing?
I think that if your body is not working, you will be die. Just sleeping in the bed. So it's not good. So God created us to work.
Okay.
Our body is to work, to create something.
Okay.
So somehow when you are active, my mother-in-law, she's about now 89 years old.
Wow.
But she's taking care of my children now. That's why, Mama, take care of my children. I'm going to Pakistan. So don't worry. And she's taking care.
Oh,
she's working.
That's amazing. Yeah. No, so these are the differences that you see within the culture. Yes. And you made your life there, but you regularly visit Pakistan, obviously. Yes. Because you're working on
in the medias and
exactly.
making documentaries
and building you're bridging the gap there. Now, when you come here and you see the differences, how do you then relay all these positive things to people in Pakistan?
Actually, when I come here, last day I was talking to one of my friends. He says, "Oh, Mr. Mughal, the Pakistan is full of corruption. The corruption is a problem." I said, "No, corruption is a blessing because if people are doing bad things, their conscious level will be torture them. You're doing something wrong.
Right.
And someday they will repent."
Okay.
So the best thing is, I think, to awakeness of your consciousness can be in the goodness.
Okay.
So you cannot stop the corruption.
Okay. You can stop the corruption, absolutely. I mean, but I mean, I know what you're saying. At some point, hopefully, they will realize.
So, and the system is, based on even of the Islamic culture, people don't understand what is the Islam. The true story and true image and true peaceful image of Islam is, even we are Muslim don't understand that.
Right.
So somehow we have to understand this, the spirituality of Islam. I think this the Sufism, the best thing to introduce it. The whole world can accept it. If you try to convert people, converting the Islam may be a little bit difficult, but when you put that Sufism and culture, people love it, that our Sufi music, Sufi heritage.
Okay, so now when you are trying, obviously not imposing your beliefs, so how do you manage to maintain your religion and culture when you're living abroad?
Of course.
Because that's a lot of fear that a lot of people have, is that when they leave, but you being a journalist too, you have to stay analytical. But how do you manage to keep that balance?
Yeah, actually, we have the Muslim community there, I'm representing them. Sometimes I make the spiritual talk show. I invite, a lot of the religious imam, like Badshah Masjid Imam. I invited them to Japan. Come. I invite that, the Christian James' father, Chanan, he was there. So I invited even the international leader to Japan. Let's make cooperation and make better understanding of the good image of Pakistan.
Okay, so I think we have some more clips as well that we're going to keep sharing. But now going forward, what is it that you would like to see happening between the two countries?
One thing I feel that we should learn from Japan, a lot of things, that to make peaceful country.
Okay.
The Japanese has a very high level education, ethics and moral, and Pakistan also need to give a good education to children. Not education doesn't mean go to the high school or get a PhD, whatever. Give the moral and ethics education. So create the nice human being who can serve humanity.
Okay.
So this is the problem what I feel that Pakistan don't have the high level
Okay,
moral
but I mean, if
education.
you have a show, you should make a show about the how they do it in Japan, and then kind of relay it. And we'll be happy to show clips of that here.
Yes, of course. I have a lot of clips. I think I gave it to
Okay,
the
so let's have a
producers.
look
We
at
show that.
those. Jamshid.
So that's the interfaith harmony and make it, like I invited the Prime Minister.
We've
wife
been
was
seeing
there.
those photos, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so now because we have to go for a short break very soon. Now, you think moral and ethics need to be taught in a different way, is your
That's
opinion?
right, yes.
But now, because you're working in media, what have you seen are the differences in the media behaviors? And how much have they been helping you in order to promote your cause?
Mostly, when I see the Pakistani media, every time they're sending breaking news. I said, no, it's a cracking news. It's crack your mind, When we are watching some bad news in Pakistan, in Japan, we really feel very bad. But Japan, there is no breaking news. I'm telling you, they don't broadcast.
Okay, so this is when you received the award.
The Princess Takamado and is Antonio Inoki, and the right side is the imperial family. This is Antonio Inoki, came to Pakistan 2012. This is our ambassador Farooq Hamil. He was, supporting me to make art and cultural galleries. This is Princess.
Yes.
Princess Takamado, she was with us. And it's the first time in the history the princess came to the Japanese embassy. The first lady, Mrs. Abe Akie, came to the Pakistan embassy, and she gave me the award.
Okay,
I guess the award for the internet harmony and peace.
Great.
And really, I'm trying to make these things to be flash in Pakistan.
That's
too.
great,
Yes.
and so that it's been recognized at the at the higher levels, which is great.
Yes.
But now talking about the rest of it, because if you want to make a difference and you want people to learn about other cultures, it's about trickling down effect.
Yeah.
So how are you reaching the masses within Pakistan to show them that these are the benefits of this culture, or these are the benefits of this way of life?
Yes.
It doesn't mean that you have to change your religion or your
Yes.
own cultures, but
Yes.
you can incorporate positivity. How do you do that for the rest of the population?
Yes. Actually, at the beginning, I was involved with the Japanese media. I thought I have to bring it on the local level. So I tried my own channel. I have my own Mughal net. You can go to the Mughal channel.
Okay.
So I make the website. So I bring these people. So even yesterday, I made one of the Japanese. He's very good singer, culture. So I can interview them, put it on the website, bringing network of the common people, those who are creative, who want to do something. I'm making that network of that people.
Okay,
and
wonderful.
then you can make more better interesting with them, and you can deliver your message of love and peace to them. And they respect you, and their friends will be your friends. Your friends will be their friends.
Okay.
So I think that the friendship is the best way to make peace and harmony.
Okay,
The friendship of the religion, politics, culture, everything. You make a friendship.
Okay.
But mostly we are making the enemies. This is a problem. Don't make enemy, please, friendship.
I think that's a message that the whole world can take, that everyone should be friends. But now, because we are having to go for a short break and we run out of time, what is it now that you would like to see going forward? With this trip in Pakistan that you're doing right now, what do you hope to achieve? And then in the coming years?
In Pakistan, mostly I have a lot of politician friends here, a lot of religious leaders are my friends. I will tell them, please try to make this religion and politics separate. Learn from Japan.
Okay.
Religion is very important, but don't mix it in the politics. That's why creating problem here in our country.
Okay.
So not even our country, even the most of the Muslim country, they are creating problems.
Right.
So when you have the good politicians, good faith leaders, they can, they are our guides.
Okay.
They can lead your countries. So leaders is, they are the fathers of the country. So leader should be the father of the country, not be a prime minister of the country, not to be a president of the country. Try to be a father or mother of the nations, of the country. Then that your nation will be respect you. Nation can be follow you. So Japan has that kind of. They respect their higher imperial family as a parent.
Right.
So that's why they are peaceful. They say, no, our parents,
Okay.
spiritual parents are there. They're watching us. They don't feel God is watching. You say, no, Allah dakh raha hai yaar.
Okay.
God is watching us. No.
Interesting.
This is our parents are watching us. When you feel that your parents are alive watching you, your conscious level get more higher and you don't make any mistakes.
Or then you start hiding the mistakes that you make. That's another thing. But thank you so much for your time.
very
It's been a
much.
pleasure talking to you, and I heard this trip proves to be fruitful.
Really?
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, great. So that was Humayun Mughal. He is a journalist who's been in Japan for the last 35 years, promoting peace and harmony, and doing that through writing and his own TV channel, which is mughal.net. So with that, we're going to go for a short break. And when you're going to come back, we're going to be talking to the youth of Pakistan again to find out what is going on for them. Stay tuned.
The largest cultural activity in Pakistan is the annual National Folk Festival, Lok Mela, held in Islamabad in October each year. Over the past 2 decades, this festival has taken on an international flavour, and more than 20 different countries have sent their artisans and performers to participate in the festival. Nationally, the festival has become a thing of pride for artisans and performers who come on their own to participate. Most important of all, the provinces of Pakistan and Azad Jammu and Kashmir put up beautifully decorated pavilions, and visitors had the unique opportunity to see an assortment of Pakistan's traditionally rich culture in the federal capital of Islamabad for an exciting 10 days. An exhibition of artisans at work under the banner of the Heritage Museum forms the core of this festival. Pavilions of each province depict their own regional culture and crafts. The Research and Media Centre of Lok Virsa arranges groups of dancers that perform all over the festival grounds, inviting visitors to join in, and in the evening arranges music concerts from all parts of Pakistan. This festival is a true depiction of the diversity found in Pakistani culture.
Welcome back, everyone. And before the break, we were just in discussion with Humayun Mughal, who was a journalist from Japan. And it was really fascinating to meet someone who's actually living there, who's actually married someone from there, and is living those mixed religious, cultural lives. And it'd be really fascinating to see what, how his kids kind of grew up in that. So next time we'll try and get some more information. But now we're going to we're not doing a U-turn, we're doing a little sidestep. Yesterday we had some youngsters on the show, and we were talking about they were high achievers. So today we've got some more youngsters who have been working in the social arena of Pakistan, focusing on unemployment, which is a huge problem all over the world, but especially within Pakistan. Before, people have come in saying that, entrepreneurship, becoming businessmen, that is the way forward for a lot of the youth. So these are young adults who are working in this area, and we're going to get a ground reality snapshot of what is the situation. What are the options for the majority of the youngsters out there, and how they're aiding them. So we have been joined by Ahmed Azim. He studied at NUST. He did his bachelor's in public administration. He's also the co-founder and a social activist for Youth Initiative for Aid and Employment. Assalamu alaikum, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Besides Ahmed, we've been joined by Asna Zaheen. She studied at Comstats University, was a student of BBA. She's also a social activist and the co-founder for Youth Initiative for Aid and Employment. Assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Walaikum assalam.
Thank you so much for joining us. So I will start with you, Ahmed. What is Youth Initiative for Aid and Employment?
Well, Youth Initiative for Aid and Employment, as the name suggests, youth of Pakistan.
Yeah.
And we're a group of students from different universities. Like-minded people have gathered and created a team to work and to give to the society.
Excellent.
Basically, what we started off with was a specific target to what we want to achieve.
Right.
So we came up with how we should devise ways to remove unemployment.
Okay.
Because every NGO has specific goals. So what we did was, unemployment is a very big issue.
Absolutely.
And since it was very, we are youth and we're going to the market as well. So we know the issues of unemployment. So we started off with some projects of removing unemployment, helped and support people, and later on I'll discuss what we've done.
Yeah, we'll talk about the projects in a moment. So that's great. So tell me, Asna, how did you guys come together? Because Emma just mentioned you're all from different universities. So how did you all connect? How did you find each other?
Actually, it has been established with the great help of Sir Syed alumni, along with the university students, as we all are working and we are in contact. So I just shared the idea of this, and he supported me a lot, and he said like we have to create possibilities, and we have to work on this. This is such a great idea.
Wonderful. Okay, so that's great. So it's different people from different universities. That's wonderful. Now, how did you figure out what are the actual needs? What are the different issues, hurdles that these youth are facing? How did you, what's the word I'm looking for? How did you find out what the problems were to address them? There is a certain word for it, but I can't think of it right now.
Before starting out, we met mentors and experienced people who have worked or have their own NGOs. So what they said was you have to be very specific in your goals. We jot down some things if you want to work on education, if you want to work on health or unemployment. So unemployment was the most relevant to us. And the situation of the country, keeping in mind the situation, we thought unemployment is the most major issue. You see terrorism and everything happening. Those people are involved in all those foul activities who are unemployed. People want money eventually to fulfill their needs. So to remove that unemployment and to give them independent means of employment, we came up with this idea.
Wonderful. Now, the different requirements and the things that people needed. So how did you figure out what those were? How did you address those? And then, so what did you do? You went to the families? How did you do your research, and what the people needed?
Target people are basically families.
Your target audience, that's it. How did you find your target audience? I was looking for that.
Target audience, in a sense, like we usually visited them, and then we found them. Some people we know personally, so we visited them in daily routine. Then we talked to them about this, and we basically help them financially and provide them financial stability, and we help them in several ways. So they can maintain their lifestyle and their living standards.
Okay, so yes, before I move on.
I want to add something. It's not basically we give them money.
Okay, that's the next question. So what are the projects that you're doing in order to give them?
We've focused on the audience that is uneducated and underprivileged, whose parents unfortunately did not get education and eventually do not have permanent jobs. They do daily wage work and labor. So we've targeted that audience and came up with ideas like to provide them independent means of employment. That includes fruit carts, vegetable carts, rickshaws, and small-scale general stores, generally known as the Karyana stores.
Excellent.
So these are the basic projects. We started off in August 2016, and around in 10 months, we've completed, alhamdulillah, more than 10 projects.
Excellent.
And keeping in mind, all the members are students from different universities.
Wonderful. Now, so you said that you found your target, not audience, target segment of society.
Yes.
Sorry, you finished what you were saying?
It's actually about the widows and other females who are working as a maid. So we found them, and we are basically help them by bearing expenses of their training in vocational centers, and then providing her different equipments and a sewing machine, for example. Sewing machine.
Wonderful.
And different things like we usually try to make them independent.
Yeah. So basically, so that's exactly what we used to speak about, that if you teach them, it's better than just giving them something, because then they can sustain it. That's wonderful. But now, these rickshaws, these corner shops, as we call them in English, and the vocational training, how are you raising the funds for it? I'll start with Asna and then I'll move on to you, Ahmed.
Actually, this is such a difficult task.
Yes. It's the most
Fundraising
difficult, right?
Yes, fundraising is such a difficult task for us, as we all are students, and it is really very difficult for all of us to collect fund. And basic issue is presently basic issue is this. So actually, first starting, we ask our members to collect funds by their families, friends, and first of all, universities as well. Universities are the platform where we can collect hefty amounts as well. For example, I'm a big example of this. Like I collect usually funds of 40,000 in one day.
Okay.
Like our members also usually collect funds by their universities, by their relatives, by their friends, and their personal relations. Like they ask other friends to collect funds for them and for YIE.
Okay, great. And is there any other methods that you guys have?
Yeah, we list down some names of some which we believe are potential donors.
Right.
Since we're working in VA and Texla and its vicinity, we've listed down some names of some potential donors. Our ER team and the sponsorships team will contact those sponsors, and eventually we have our proposal written. We
Great.
present them the proposal, and eventually those donors will help us go
That's
further.
wonderful. Like you really thought things through. Now, now that's the one thing with regards to people, you know, who collect funds, because there have been a lot of people who unfortunately scam people, and you know, a lot of people have donated, but they don't see the results of, you know, because people work hard for their own money. They don't want to see it go to someone else's pocket for no work. How do you keep that transparency and all of that to the people who donate to you? I think that's a really important aspect.
That is the most important thing. If I give money, I believe it must be spent on the right way. So what we've devised is we have the list, each and every detail of the project that we're doing.
Okay.
If we're targeting a particular family, we have each and every detail. We survey those families and encourage the donors to go visit us. This is one way. Secondly, once the project is done, we have all the receipts for all the expenses. All the records are duly maintained and put on the social media. That's our page. And we in future we're trying to send them, our potential donors, those receipts and all the details through emails or social media.
Okay, great. And we have an address for you, and you know, we have checked it out, and they are legit. So you know, you don't have to worry about it. We're not going to give you guys the wrong information, hopefully. But now, so then we will share your page and everything so that people can, you know, check you guys out and hopefully help you out as well. But now you're saying that you go to each individual family and you discuss. How do you then decide that this family really needs our help and we should give them the rickshaw, or we should, enroll them in the vocational skills? I'll ask you.
We take suggestions from all of our members. We have 40 members in our team, and I usually want to take decision when I complete asking from all of them.
Okay.
This is better to take suggestions from other as well.
Of course, democracy.
As I am the youngster, I have the right decision power, but I don't want to take it individually. I just want to ask all of them. Then we decided in our committee and in our sittings that what kind of help we are going to do for this family, or that we will decide.
Okay, so now one thing, I'm going to ask a bit more of a tough question, which is kind of linked in with the work that you're doing. But it's very, and it's something that I've seen happen quite a lot in the last few years that we've been hosting the show. You have a lot of students who have a lot of, you know, motivation and drive to help people, which is fantastic. And we will never knock that. Any effort, no matter what your intentions are, at least you're helping someone. But after a point, once you establish an NGO or a group that is helping people, or a foundation, the infighting or the in-house rivalry or jealousies or desire to project themselves as the thing, how are you guys trying to avoid that? Or are you trying to avoid that? Like, how are you going? Because it's human nature. We can pretend that we're all going to be fine, but we're not.
Yeah, definitely.
I've seen a lot of NGOs actually fall apart within a space of a couple of years because people can't seem to stay on the same page. How are you guys planning to do that?
Well, obviously, when you have a group of people, everyone diverse and like different from one another, it's difficult to stick them around and work together. But since it's volunteer work, and I said in the start, like-minded people have joined us. So it's not that difficult if you have that motivation, that drive to go and help people. What I believe, we're doing this volunteer work and it's fi sabilillah. So that particular motivation doesn't let you through all those fights and those
The self-projection.
yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
that's great. Very humble people here. That's great. No, 'cause
Well,
yes.
I tell you, like, why is such a friendship environment? It's a platform of friends and matlab, family. Like, they all are working like a friends, and they all are working like a family.
Okay.
We neglect little mistakes of others. Like, this is how we can.
You absorb it.
Yes.
Okay, great, wonderful. Now, we are running really short of time. Going forward, what would you guys like to achieve? I'll start with you and then
Our goal is to expand it in different areas, in different cities of Lahore, Karachi, and Islamabad. Like, due to limited resources, we only work in places of near Waqi and Tixla. So we are going to expand it in future, inshallah. And we have a upcoming drive, Rozgar Sabke Liye.
Okay.
That is in that drive we will looking forward for the rickshaw drivers, and we are going to provide rickshaws with the loans.
Okay.
So
That's great. And also, I feel like you guys should also target your universities a bit more. They make, I think, enough universities make enough money that they should really get involved and promote these projects. Wonderful. What about you, Ahmed? What do you want to do going forward?
As Asna mentioned, we're trying out in different cities. I'll encourage people, students, to join us from different universities, from different cities of Pakistan, to help us, and go visit our page. There's
What is your
everything.
page? Share the page.
It's Youth's Initiative for Air Employment, and it's easily accessible. You'll go like it and share it, invite your
Okay.
friends.
So just, I guess, pop it into the search bar and it'll come up. What kind of image do we have on the? We do have it. We do have it. I also did look at it. But for all those people who are not sure how to spell it, what are they looking out for?
It's a logo,
Yeah.
grey and
Can we
blue.
just show it on TV quickly? No, we can't. Okay, sorry. But okay, we will share the link on our page. But thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure, and best of luck with all your
Thank
future
you.
endeavors.
Thank
you.
And whatever we can do, just let us know, drop us a message, and we can try and promote some of the, the fun runs that you're doing and stuff like that. Okay, guys, so that was Asna and Ahmed. They were from the Youth Initiative for Aid and Unemployment. Employment and unemployment, sorry. And so you can get that on Facebook. Do log on to our Facebook fan page, which is with the name of World This Morning, our Twitter page, World This Morning without a G, our Daily Motion and YouTube page, World This Morning. The repeat is at 11:05 p.m. in the evening. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a good day.